Most people live their lives in days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But Ethan Rivers lived his in tomorrows. He was 22, sharp-minded, creative, and full of dreams big enough to light up a city. His journal was packed with plans, business ideas, fitness goals, a novel he wanted to write, places he wanted to see. Yet every idea ended with the same quiet promise: "I'll start tomorrow." His mom often joked, "Ethan, if tomorrow ever showed up, you'd be unstoppable." But deep down, Ethan knew the truth wasn't funny. There was a battle inside him, one half burning with ambition, the other half sinking in comfort. And comfort was winning. Ethan wasn't lazy. At least, not in the traditional sense. He could spend hours researching how to become successful. He watched motivational videos, read books, highlighted quotes, and wrote goals on sticky notes. But he never acted. He loved the idea of progress more than progress itself. He'd buy workout shoes but skip the gym. He'd plan a business but never launch it. He'd write the opening line of his novel, then get distracted by TikTok. Ethan was living a life of almost. Almost started. Almost improved. Almost changed. To the outside world, he looked normal, just another young guy figuring life out. But inside, Ethan felt stuck, and every passing day made him feel smaller. Success felt like a train he kept missing. One chilly November morning, Ethan's dad knocked on his bedroom door. "Ethan, we need to talk." His dad never said that unless something serious was coming. And this time, it was. Their family business, a small carpentry shop, was failing. Orders had dropped, bills had piled up, and his father's health wasn't good enough for heavy labor anymore. "We've got two choices," his dad said, voice breaking slightly. "Either we step up, or we close the shop." Ethan's stomach dropped. That shop had been in their family for 3 generations. It was the place he'd learned patience, craftsmanship, and the pride of creating something with his own hands. He remembered being 8 years old, standing on a stool, sanding wood beside his dad. "Everything you build reflects you, Ethan," his father would say. "Lazy hands make weak work. But committed hands make legacy." And now that legacy was slipping away. Ethan opened his mouth to say, "I'll help you starting tomorrow." But he caught himself. That word again. That cursed, heavy, dream-killing word. Tomorrow. He finally understood how dangerous it had become. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. Every memory of every wasted day replayed in his mind like a slow, painful movie. The dreams he postponed. The opportunities he ignored. The potential he kept on pause. He realized something important. Procrastination is not laziness. It is fear wearing comfortable clothes. Fear of failure. Fear of discomfort. Fear of not being good enough. He wasn't lazy, he'd been protecting himself from disappointment. But in doing so, he'd built a prison made of excuses. Ethan grabbed his notebook. On the first page he wrote, "Start today. Even if it's messy. Even if it's small. Start." Something shifted in him, a small but powerful seed of truth. The next morning, Ethan showed up at the carpentry shop at 6 a.m. His dad blinked twice, surprised. "You're up early." "No," Ethan said, grabbing an apron, "I'm late. But I'm done being late." And he meant it. The shop was dusty, cold, and filled with half-finished projects, just like Ethan's life. He picked up a hammer, and for the first time in months, he felt alive. The first swing was weak. The second swing was awkward. But by the 10th, the rhythm returned. His muscles burned. His back ached. But pain felt good, it felt like proof. One day of effort is excitement. 1 week is enthusiasm. But 3 weeks? That's discipline. And discipline is where most people fall. But Ethan didn't. Not this time. He set a new rule. If it's important, I do it now. Not later. He applied it to everything. Woke up at 5:30 a.m. Showed up at the shop daily. Went to the gym after work. Stopped doom scrolling. Started learning woodworking designs. Spent nights studying business marketing. Took responsibility rather than waiting for motivation. Slowly, his world started changing. Not dramatically. Not instantly. But steadily. Quietly. His confidence rose one task at a time. 3 months later, the shop got a big offer. A luxury restaurant wanted custom wooden tables. 20 of them. High quality. Tight deadline. The payment could save their business. But it was a huge job. Ethan's dad wanted to decline. "We can't do this alone," he said, coughing. "It's too much." Ethan looked at him, then at the tools, then at the empty shop. "No," he said. "It's not too much. I'll do it." And so began the hardest month of Ethan's life. He'd never worked so many hours. Never pushed himself so hard. There were days he felt like collapsing. Nights he couldn't feel his hands. Mornings where quitting looked tempting. But every time the voice of laziness whispered, "You can rest, you can stop, you can do it later," another voice answered, "Not this time." As Ethan crafted each table, something unexpected happened. He stopped working like a tired young man trying not to fail. He started working like an artist. His cuts became cleaner. His sanding became smoother. His finishing became flawless. He wasn't just building tables. He was rebuilding himself. People think discipline kills creativity. But in Ethan's case, discipline unlocked creativity. He began designing patterns no one in the shop had ever attempted. He added custom inlays. He experimented with textures. For the first time in his life, Ethan wasn't dreaming about his potential. He was using it. When the restaurant owner returned to inspect the completed tables, Ethan was terrified. Would they like them? Would they reject them? Would all those sleepless nights mean nothing? The owner slowly ran his hand across the polished surface of one table. Then another. Then another. He finally turned to Ethan. "These are exceptional. Truly beautiful work." Ethan felt his throat tighten. Not because of the compliment. But because he finally believed it. The restaurant owner wasn't just impressed. He recommended their shop to 4 other businesses. Orders started pouring in. Within months, the shop was profitable again. His dad could cut back on heavy labor. Ethan became the lead designer. They hired 2 new workers. Their shop's online page went viral for unique craftsmanship. Ethan's confidence skyrocketed. People began saying, "You're talented. You're disciplined. You're hardworking." But Ethan knew the truth. He wasn't any of those things before. He became those things the moment he stopped waiting for tomorrow. Success didn't come from motivation. It came from showing up on the days he didn't want to. One evening, while locking up the shop, Ethan noticed something. The same walls. The same tools. The same space. But he was different. Life hadn't given him a perfect start. It hadn't given him extra chances. It hadn't given him talent. It gave him a choice. To act, or to wait. And he finally chose action. He realized something powerful. Laziness and ambition both live inside us. The one you feed becomes your future. He once fed laziness, and it nearly cost him everything. Now he fed ambition, and it changed his life. If Ethan could sit with you right now, he'd say one thing. Your dreams aren't waiting. They're aging. If you want to change your life, don't wait for the right time. There is no right time. There is only now. Because the truth is simple. You don't need more motivation. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to start. Today. Even if it's small. Even if it's messy. Even if you're scared. The day you stop waiting is the day your life finally begins.